I'm Gwennetta Wright.
And I'm Deonta B.
And welcome to Gwen's Business Corner with Deonta B. Hey, girl.
Hey, hey, hey.
Merry Christmas.
I know. You know, it's my favorite time of year. This is the time when I just go crazy with the trees, the decor, I just love Christmas.
Yeah.
I love the holidays. And not to mention, you just had a birthday.
Yes, I turned the big 42. Ain't that crazy?
You did.
All right.
Time is flying. This year just like a plane.
And 2020 been one of those years.
It has.
It's been one of those years.
It's like a whirlwind year. It's shaking you up for something big in 2021.
Absolutely.
For everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm excited today.
Yes. So we're talking to some people who are some true educators, right?
Right.
So one of our guests today is Mr. Gary L. Davis Sr. He is the founder of Next Level Boys Academy. And who else we got?
Well, we have DJ Veal. He is the CEO of Inc. Education, and he is also the founder of Black Tutors on social media. So I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
All right now.
Yes, yes. So today we are talking about next level exclusive manpower, and we got the men in the building. This is Gwen's Business Corner with Deonta B. Stay tuned, keep it locked. We'll be right back.
With virtual and in-office tax preparation from Expert Tax Service, you can file your tax return anytime, anywhere. Expert Tax Service makes it easy. Just log on to experttaxservices.com to get started. Our tax professionals will work with you to make filing your taxes simple, no matter where you are. Expert Tax Service. We're here for you at our offices in Columbus and Stone Mountain, or online nationwide at experttaxservices.com. Log on and get started today.
So welcome back. Today we're talking about next level manpower. And our first guest is Jay Veal. Hey.
Hey, how's it going, ladies?
Hey, Jay, welcome to the corner.
Absolutely, glad to have me. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you.
Absolutely.
So let's jump right into it. So your company is Inc. Education.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
us how you guys started and
Okay.
what was your inspiration?
Yeah, so I am originally born northeast of LA, right, and probably raised there. So I moved to Dallas Fort Worth quite a while ago, and my original background was in IT and tech. And so after the tech space of working, at Microsoft and a couple other companies for so long, I initially transitioned over to education space, and I kept getting this email, saying, "Hey, you should teach in these, in the public school system." And in my mind, I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna be a CIO of a Fortune 100 company." But God was like, "Hey, I have a different plan for you." So after getting 3 emails of that, I decided to make the change into education. So I moved over to teach in 2008. 2009 year, I taught back in my alma mater at Townview Science Engineering. And I taught a very unique class to students called Fast Track Mathematics, which is basically teaching them 3 years of pre-AP math in 1 year. So it's kind of interesting, right? Very, very accelerated. So you would teach them the whole year of geometry, at the same time teach them the whole year of Algebra 2 first semester. Then second semester you flip it, teach them the whole year of pre-calculus second semester. And then after that first year of teaching, all my students got 100% perfect scores on the state exam. So at that point I knew that I had a gift for the education thing, right? For the teaching thing. So I continued to do it for another 3.5 years. Okay. After I got done, after 4.5 years total, I became a math instructional coach on campus, and then became a district level administrator for another 3 years over 7 schools. Became an adjunct professor of math at the university, and then I ended up going into a couple other things. So in the course of that, though, I noticed there was a gap for what students of color were not getting inside the classroom for support, and what they were not getting outside the classroom for support. And that's when I started Inc. Tutoring, which is now Inc. Education. And so on the front end of that, we offer students tutoring services, run educational services from kindergarten all the way up to the doctoral level. And we do STEM subjects, test preps, English reading, writing, and foreign languages. And so now that we're moving and transitioned over to Inc. Education, we additionally do mentoring, we do academic coaching and counseling, we do ghostwriting for those that want to write books, right, for authors. We do literature reviews for physicians and do quite a few other services. So now we're moving over from Inc. Tutoring to Inc. Education. We have about 105 people now nationwide between Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago, DC, Austin, and Atlanta. We now just recently got named by Business Insider the top Black-owned tutoring company or actually the top online tutoring company in general for students of color. but we're also the top Black-owned tutoring company in the Southern United States at large. So we've worked with over about 12,000 students now. We have an approach. The reason why it's kind of so special is we have a holistic approach of education and tutoring that is specifically for and driven to those young men and young women of color, right? So mentoring them, we initially build deep relationships with the parents and the students. We include different stakeholders into our process. So parents, teachers, counselors, students, and during sports, the coaches. We make sure that they're all communicating, right, in one communication circle of influence. Make sure that the pedagogical side is great, and then we include, we support them, right? So at the end of the day, they have a 360-degree process to make sure that they continue to do well. And so utilizing that, we have a 95% success rate now of our students of color getting A's and B's in about 50 subjects. So it's a lot of stuff, And so I came to Atlanta to change some things, right? Moved from Dallas recently, so.
Okay.
Impressive.
That's very impressive. Child, when he lost me when he was talking about some algebra and geometry, you know, I got a, like, oh, smart. Look, hold on. You know, I got one of those things with geometry. Every time I hear it, I go, ugh.
Look at I started early. I graduated when I was 16. I was a freshman in high school at 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I was young. I was a young little thing.
Okay, wow.
Definitely no numbers.
Right.
Look, okay,
Right.
okay, absolutely.
So you talked about some of your services, but what would entail the enrollment and some of your fees for tutoring, and what does it look like if I'm a parent and I have a child? Because we know right now everybody's online, like everybody's going to regular school online. So what does that look like as far as a tutoring, as far as them being tutored outside of them being in the virtual class?
Right. So first of all, we kind of want to hit that, right? Now the students then they grew up overnight, basically is what happened, right? So back in March, when things hit with COVID-19, it was like parents didn't really know what to do to support their students. Did they want to homeschool their students? Did they want to put them online? Did they want to do a hybrid scenario? How do we make this happen? And the students were kind of lost as to, hey, now I went from in the classroom to doing things, virtually. How does this happen, right? So now we made a pivot and was like, okay, what's the best way for us to really support these students? And quite frankly, we were already doing virtually online tutoring since 2015.
Oh, wow.
We started in 2015, right?
Wow.
And so now it was more so, okay, do we align ourselves with telling the parents different curriculums that they need to use? In Texas, they have Texas Online Preparatory School curriculum. They have some of the university curriculum that's online for the high school students and things like that too. Okay. But how do we kind of integrate those, right? So now, when people come to us for tutoring services, it's more so of, we don't want to hit just like our homework help type of scenario. That's not what we want to do, right? We really go deeper into that to make sure that all of our students are performing at large at the best level that they can. Right.
So I am just kind of curious because I know for me, now that we're in the COVID space, when it came to my company, I had already predicted that in a couple of years that we was going to have to transition to virtual. What made you say, okay, back in 2015, let's do an untraditional way of tutoring. Let's go virtual instead of, bringing people in. What made you go that way?
So I initially started the company knocking door to door, which is interesting, right? Very grassroots, bootstrap, no venture capital money. And at that time it was, and all the social media stuff wasn't even out yet, right? Your TikTok wasn't out, right? Your regular social media was out, but it wasn't at the stage it is now. So it was like, okay, how do we break into a market of tutoring for minority students in a way that everybody can really take advantage of, right? And so we know parents go to work a lot, especially the minority community. They go to work a lot, right? They may have 2 or 3 jobs sometimes, right? So they may not be able to bring their student all the time to us, right, to get tutored, or to a center, right, or to whatever. So next best thing was to, hey, we can do tutoring online as well. So if need be, we can log online to Skype, or we can log online to Google, or whatever the case may be, and we can make it happen. Back then, of course, those were the 2 heavily used platforms. Now you have the Zooms, you have the Microsoft Teams, you have all those particular platforms that are available for students to really do things online now. So at this point at large, look, we can do tutoring through everything that you need, right? Your phones, if you want to do some things through TikTok, we can do that. Instagram, all that. So we do some videos and other things in Facebook Lives of some of our tutoring processes there too, so kids can come to that and be like, hey, we've seen them do this, and they're able to still work with us.
I like it.
Yes, love it, love it. So you've taken education a step further. You now have Black Tutors on social media.
Right.
So what impact has that been as far as resources with connecting like minds? Because I know I like to tap into different social groups and things of that nature, and then it's like you get so much knowledge and resources just from being in a group.
So the driving force behind Black Tutors of social media, or like we abbreviate BTSM, right, was the fact that during COVID, in roughly April-ish, right, I was sitting there and I was like, okay, we have Inc. education, right? What else can be done for students of color who are able to really get what they need? And at this time, it was, in every major metroplex area that I've kind of been to, there's not been a consistent organization that does tutoring for students of color, right? You have your Sylvans and your Kumans, your Mathnasiums, your centers, but that's not what they cater towards, right? And they don't do that personalized tutoring that's really needed on the private end. And so the goal was, can I make other individuals come together to make things happen? So on the front end of that, basically, Black Tutors of Social Media is an ed tech nonprofit that's twofold, right? On the front end, you have an organization that brings all Black-owned tutoring companies that are available and able to be part of the organization at large. They can disseminate their services to the general public, right? So in all different types of subjects. And it's a filter reactive platform and site to where you can say, hey, I want a female, I want a male, I want somebody who does these subjects, I want somebody that's specializing in special needs, right? I need these grade levels in these subjects. So you can do that with that platform. On the back end, though, it's a 6-program nonprofit to address many different things, right? So free tutoring services for students who are in severely disadvantaged homes. People can donate to those programs, right? We have entrepreneurship programs, financial literacy programs, which I'm super great at, right? Financial literacy is another passion of mine. Mentorship programs, travel, and also we'll have some college tours as well. So as people, businesses, private entities continue to donate to these programs on the nonprofit side, students are able to take advantage of those and be able to make themselves better. So.
Wow.
I love it.
Right.
So, we could talk to you all day because it seems like you have some really good, interesting things, especially for, the Black community, but of course everybody overall as far as making sure that people are educated. So, definitely tell the viewers, before we get out of here, how to find you.
All right, so you can definitely find me or find us on Instagram for sure. I have a couple of them, so I'll give you guys all of them. So at INC Inc. CEO.thetutor. Also at Black Tutors of Social Media. At the J Veal brand, also, and at Inc. Education. On Facebook, you can definitely, it's not complicated education, you can find us there. On LinkedIn, you'll find us as well, at Inc. Education, and then on Twitter at Inc. Education LLC, and also Black Tutors of Social, BTSM as well. So and if you just Google, trust me, you'll find everything you need to about what we're doing for the community. But just really glad to be here in Atlanta to really make a big change. My whole thing about coming here was I don't want to come here and be like everybody else. I want to come and stand out and be different. So coming here specifically to attack the educational problems is what I'm here for.
Okay, now.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming to the corner.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me once again.
Yes. Well, there you have it. And we are talking about next level manpower. And coming up next, we have D. Gary Davis Sr. We're going to get into some mentorship and academy programs. This is Gwen's Business Corner with Deonta B. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
With virtual and in-office tax preparation from Expert Tax Service, you can file your tax return anytime, anywhere. Expert Tax Service makes it easy. Just log on to experttaxservices.com to get started. Our tax professionals will work with you to make filing your taxes simple, no matter where you are. Expert Tax Service. We're here for you at our offices in Columbus and Stone Mountain, or online nationwide at experttaxservices.com. Log on and get started today.
Welcome back. So if you are just tuning in, we are talking about next level manpower, and the next guest, he needs no introduction. He is getting the men together right now. D. Gary Davis Sr., welcome to the corner.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So you have Next Level Boys Academy. So what inspired you to start that organization?
Well, back in 2008, 2009, when President Obama was sworn in his first term.
Okay.
And when the inauguration was taking place, at that time I was working for the state of Georgia and making about $150 plus, $160,000 a year. So when I saw that he became the president of the United States of America, I felt like I needed to do more. So I quit my job the same day.
Wow.
And when I quit my job, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. So I took about 3 months off, and it seems like this little birdie just woke me up in the middle of the night and said, hey, listen, I want you to start an organization to specifically work with black and brown males.
That's powerful.
He said he jumped from a 6-figure job to say, you know what, I need to do more. All right now.
Yeah, because I didn't have any purpose. I was just existing.
Right.
And one of the craziest things for any man, one of the craziest place for a man to be in is a place with no purpose. And so you're just spending money, you're wasting time. So I just identified my purpose and I just started living it.
I love it.
Wow. So you work with boys, and you also, the unique thing is you work with young men.
Yes.
So what are some of the programs and services that you offer along with your center, along with the criteria for the enrollment process? Because I think that's going to be very important because it's so much needed.
Yeah, so when we started in 2009, we initially started out as a summer camp program with 10 young men.
Okay.
And each year we implemented a different program. So then we started an after-school program, then we started a boot camp. Then we started a sports program, soccer and basketball. And so initially we was just about saving the young men who had never gotten in any trouble. So about 7 years ago, me, just like so many people that's watching this and you all, I just got tired of seeing black and brown males going to jail. So I proposed this program to the 14 county courts and said, hey, listen, there's a lot of good young men who are getting caught in bad situations, who are going to prison. So they accepted the proposal, and that's why I started the Next Level Diversion Program. We are partnering with different courts throughout the state and other states, whereas they're sending young men to us instead of prison. So each week, we're probably diverting about 100 years of prison time a week.
Wow.
And these young men are facing charges from armed robbery, aggravated assault, home invasion, burglary. So, you know, and to get it right, I mean, don't get it wrong. I mean, some people need to go to prison, but there's that 17 to 18-year-olds that never got an opportunity to get started on life, and that's that population that we work with. So we have about, you know, we're probably mentoring anywhere between 200 to 300 young men a year.
Wow.
That's powerful. And I love to hear it just because we have so many, well, we don't have enough programs that cater to our males, and it's so much needed. So salute to you for that.
Thank you.
So, of course, you have the Academy, which is a nonprofit. So let's talk about just the nonprofit part of it. So what tips will you give to someone who's looking to start a nonprofit? And you know, when you're thinking a nonprofit, a lot of people don't understand that you can actually get funding from it. And like you started this program, like you didn't necessarily have to start as a nonprofit. You could have started as a for-profit company. So what drove you to a nonprofit status?
Well, first advice I would tell people, if you're money hungry, then you need to leave this alone. I don't lead this organization by money. Believe it or not, I've never applied for a grant.
Oh, wow.
Never interested in applying for a grant. I just think that whenever you're doing right, the universe is going to reward you. We have a lot of great corporate sponsors who are partnering with us from all over the world. So, but my advice is starting a nonprofit, man, just have a heart for people. Whatever you're trying to do, just go out and do the work, not to make it about the money, because when you do that, first of all, it's not going to last long. And secondly, you're not going to be effective with the population of people that you're trying to work with. So my advice would be, just love people. The universe is going to reward you when you're doing right, and when you want to do right. So when I started it, ironically, we started as a for-profit, and but after a while, that's when we was doing the after school and summer camp, and we went into the diversion piece. I just want to save lives. And I think that for all the good things that's happened to me in my life has always been a result of me just giving back and doing for other people.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
So tell me this, because I know, you touched on giving these men the opportunity to change their lives. But let's be real. What we're dealing with is some men that have been disturbed. They come from broken homes. With men, depression, I mean, it's a sign of weakness even if they're depressed. So what are some of the challenges that you all face with assisting men in changing their lives? And what are some of the challenges, so what are some of the techniques that you all use in order to channel through with these men, to be able to get through? Because, with men, you guys are just not able to show things like women are able to. So what are some of those things that you've had to deal with?
Well, being a man and having sons of my own, I know that we respond off of love and consistency. So first of all, you genuinely love, right, and then you do it on a consistent basis. So once the trust comes in and once the trust falls in place, then you'll be able to teach and implement anything you want to do with them in their lives. So the goal is, most young men out here, believe it or not, that's committing these crimes, they're just hungry.
Right.
So you create a place and you just get a budget of $5,000 a month, and you can give Kroger gift cards. That would keep 25 young men out of homes in their neighborhood by just feeding them.
Now that's real powerful.
It is. I have family members, and I just think about some of the males in my family. They had an opportunity like that have been in jail, and then it's like nobody will give me a job. Nobody will give me the opportunity to do anything just because of that one mistake that they may have made, and they're just trying to turn their life around.
Yeah, and jail and death.
Right.
It's consistent.
Right.
It's consistent. It doesn't. They're not going anywhere. Everything has come and go. I mean, we're constantly falling in and out of things. We're falling in and out of love. We're falling in and out of relationships. We're falling in and out of jobs. But what's been consistent is going to be consistent till Jesus comes is death and jail. So you match that.
It just touched my heart. You changing so many lives. You touching so many lives, so many kids, so many. Just all across the board. Putting fathers back in their home.
Right. He's walking the walk. And then the thing about the difference that I've seen with other people who actually work with men is, young boys is that they only have the ideals of what they should be doing, right? What you're doing is you see the problem, right, and then you coming up with the solution. It's not just talk. So again, salute to you.
Thank you. And that comes to spending time, and you got to get into their world. I mean, right, you can't. I didn't grow up like this. I'm just a little country boy from Alabama who moved to Atlanta and got around a lot of street lights. I was like, well, I could do this. But I didn't grow up like this. But one thing I did grow up just having a father who's a pastor is that I just know how to love people. And when you do that, the universe is going to reward you. So what I'm learning with these young men is that they want to be heard and they want to be seen. And you just got to match with this social media, man. This social media and its peers. Again, social media is 24 hours operation, right? We're parenting on the most 8-9 hours a day. So what we try to do at Next Level Boys Academy is come in and just try to put all that time in. I follow every young man that's at Next Level Boys Academy on their social media page. I'll send them a message, man, we can't carry guns on this, we can't smoke weed on this. And everybody has direct contact with me. And I just want to say this, man, when you start, I think you said something earlier about a nonprofit organization. The reason why our community is so jacked up, man, is because people intentions are wrong.
Absolutely.
And if you was not called to do this, leave these kids alone, leave the foundation alone, leave these folks' money alone. And if you want to know the signs that you've been called, you go to bed thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it, and the children and the young men, all the young ladies that you're working with, they'll respond to you. But other than that, man, because you got to think, we all got a whole lot of great things going on, right? I think y'all doing a great thing here.
Thank you.
But what you're doing is you're creating a platform by bringing me in or the other people that come in here. And if 5,000 people saw this on the low end, and one person called me, you all get rewarded for this. And that's why we got to get people to do stuff like this and put the platform and all this stuff out there. So, we can go on and on and on all day, so I'm done.
So before we get out of here, I want you to tell people how they can find you and let them know a little bit how they can find your book, Raising Him Without Him.
Okay. After working with families for the past 11 years, mothers, single mothers raising sons alone, I decided to put everything into a book. This book has about 25 innovative chapters that's very unique, that tells you everything that's going on about your son. So you can find this book on the website, nextlevelboysacademy.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Next Level Boys Academy, Facebook, Next Level Boys Academy, or you can follow my personal Instagram page at I am Gary Davis Sr.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for what you're doing in these communities and by helping our boys. So much appreciated, and I hope that a whole tribe or more men come follow you and help you on your journey.
Thank you for having me.
Salute.
You. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, the Gary Davis Sr. And I mean, he is getting back the manpower. We need our men back. And we're going to get them back on Gwen's Business Corner with Deonta B. And coming up next, we're going to have reflections of our guests. And we're going to talk about what's to come up next with us. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
With virtual and in-office tax preparation from Expert Tax Service, you can file your tax return anytime, anywhere. Expert Tax Service makes it easy. Just log on to experttaxservices.com to get started. Our tax professionals will work with you to make filing your taxes simple, no matter where you are. Expert Tax Service. We're here for you at our offices in Columbus and Stone Mountain, or online nationwide at experttaxservices.com. Log on and get started today.
Welcome back. So if you are just tuning in, we are talking about next level manpower. And I mean, Gwen, today's guest, just touched my spirit. When you talk about young men, it's just a soft spot for me.
Yeah, I know it's a soft spot for you, child. But they was absolutely amazing.
Game changers.
Yes, the game changers. They're doing some very, very, very powerful things in our young men's lives. And salute to both for our guests. If you make sure you follow them. If you have a young man, please make sure you get Mr. Davis' book. If you have a young man, we losing our young men, so it's very important that you put them in some things that's gonna help them level up and grow. So we just got finished with one of our toy giveaways. We still got one left. December 20th in the ATL. If you're in Columbus, Georgia, and if you're watching all over the city, we're having a toy giveaway, Reach for Your Dreams, Inc., where we're giving away toys to the kids in the community in the Atlanta area. So if you're looking to donate or make a donation to a nonprofit for these holiday seasons, you can cash out us at R4YD or paypal.me/Reach for Your Dreams, Inc. And if you're looking for me, Dr. Gwennetta Wright, you can follow me on all social media outlets at Gwennetta Wright. And make sure that you're following Gwen Business Corner on all social media outlets as well. Deonta, tell them how to find you.
Well, you can find me at all social media outlets at The Real Deonta B. And we just want to get our men back in 2021. This is Gwen's Business Corner with Deonta B. We dedicate this show to all of our fallen soldiers, and we also dedicate it to everybody that's out there assisting our men, getting our men back, because we want you to know that all Black lives matter. This is Gwen's Business Corner. See you next time. Peace.